Okay, I'm just getting the live stream set up. And we are doing a Q&A for becoming a spiritual life coach in my program. So let's do that, copy and paste. All right, let's see if we can get this going. Okay, it looks like we are live streaming. Hello, everyone. It's Crystalline here, and I'm going to be talking today about my spiritual life coach certification for Badass Butterflies program. And I'm inviting 12 women to beta test the program. It's a very special thing that I'm doing because the program has been running now for 5 years, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. However, I'm setting it up in a new way. And so I've invited a bunch of people to come and join me. So if you are interested, I still have 3 slots left. And I want to take the time to answer all the questions that people have been asking me. I want to answer them in one video because I'd like to make it, kind of informative. But I also, people are asking the same questions and I'm telling them individually. And I thought, okay, this is when you need to do a Q&A and actually just put all the questions in one spot. And that way everyone can have all the information they want. Now, I have a lot of different videos, and you've probably seen them here or there, where I'm talking about the program in general and how it works out. So I'm going to give you a very, very broad overview of it today. And then I'm going to go through all these questions. So today should be a really short session, probably just 15, 20 minutes or something like that. So let me get on to it. Oh, let me start off by saying that the program begins April 3rd. That's in a week and a half. All right. So in a week and a half, you could be on your way to becoming a spiritual life coach. Now, the biggest question people always ask me, or I should say the question people ask me most frequently, is how long is my program? And my program is 10 months long. And I like to say that it takes 10 months to conceive and to build a baby. It does. In the womb, baby needs to be in there for 40 weeks so that, God and Goddess can put that baby together, build the heart, build all those cells, build all those organs, get that brain activated, get those lungs going, get those pipes working so that they can cry loud enough to be heard, okay? So it's the same thing for you. As a spiritual life coach, yes, you are a person who is going to be helping other people, but in order to help other people, you need to have a business that is going to get the message out, and it's going to be the way through which other people receive your message and your offerings. So to build you as a life coach and to build your business, you need about 10 months. It's really hard to do all of those things in less time. As many people who have tried to do that will tell you, yes, you can do some things in a short time. But for me, it's really important. I like to feel organized and safe, and I like to know that I have some pieces in place before I start something. And so the certification program that I've created helps you put all the important things in place. And so another question I get, of course, is, well, what are those things? Well, we help you build your website. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just talk about this in terms of a timeline that that I love. I love timelines because I'm Saturnian. Let's just face it. I am. I've got Charlene coming on, and look, if you want to join the live stream, you are more than welcome. You can either join me here on Zoom, or you can just type your question into Facebook. It's entirely up to you, whatever you feel most comfortable with, okay? So, so the program is 10 months long, and I'm going to give you an overview of what we're going to do. I like to think of it in terms of there being 9 phases that you have to go through. And the first phase is about kind of just getting started, getting yourself set up, getting your home set up, getting your desk set up, getting your life set up, okay? Preparing your family and all that kind of thing. But then it's then time to actually start the certification program. By the way, I want to just say, hey, Charlene, thanks for joining me. I'm glad that you could hop on the call today. Thanks a lot. So let's see. So you get yourself set up. That's phase 1. And then once you get into the program, the very first thing that we're going to do is healing and self-illumination. So we're going to take, that's about 9 weeks where we are just focusing on you and working on your story and helping you learn how to be a coach, how to heal, all of these kinds of things. So that's the next phase. So when you start thinking about having 40 weeks, and the first few weeks are just you kind of learning about yourself and getting your own understanding of who you are as a coach, it actually makes a lot of sense. Because if you've never been a therapist before, or you've never been a social worker, or even if you haven't done this on your own. Usually if you're a therapist or a social worker, you're working under, you're working either as a social worker in an organization, is what I'm trying to say. Even as a therapist, you could be certainly working for yourself, but to create yourself as a coach and a therapist are a little bit different. A coach is seen more as a business, where a therapist tends to see themselves more as a therapist with a practice, as opposed to a coach with a business, right? So this process of getting yourself set up in the beginning is going to be really important to help you feel like you know who you are as a coach and a therapist. As a coach. A therapist went to school for years, and they got a lot. When they were learning therapy, they learned a lot about themselves over those years that they spent learning and growing in psychology, right? So you as a coach, if you've never done this before, you have to think, well, a therapist goes through this for years. Here I am, I'm going to step into this. I cannot become a coach in just a couple of weeks, all right? Look, I'm pushing it by having you become a coach in 10 months. In my humble opinion, it takes a lot to learn about the human condition in order to be able to coach people. But luckily, Spirit has guided me to creating a really, really good system that helps you use the things that you've already learned in your past from your past experiences. That is the foundation that we're going to use to actually help you have authority as a coach. So even though a therapist went to school for years to kind of like really build their understanding, you don't need to go for years. You just need to have a really good approach so that you can learn something very, very deeply and become an authority in that thing. All right. So anyway, I'll move on. You've heard me talk about this stuff before, so let me keep this train moving. All right. So phase 1 is just kind of getting started. Phase 2 is when you're going to work on yourself and learn about yourself and learn about how to be a coach. Now, phase 3 this is when you're going to start thinking about the people that you want to serve and how you're going to help them, right? So we're going to be working on that for about 3 to 4 weeks. We'll be working on that. And then the next phase is, now that you know who you're going to help and what your specialty is, well, you now have to figure out how you're going to help those people transform, right? You have to determine how. So if your ideal client is, 30 years old and she has children and she's suffering from anxiety, well, exactly how are you going to help her transform that anxiety? That is what this next phase is about. Understanding how you can help, what tools you're going to need, what messages your client needs, what exercises they need to do, all that kind of thing. So that is the next phase. After that, once you've created all of those structures, all of that, that philosophy, that understanding, what you then have to do is write it all out, okay? And create an actual body of work. So you have to create the actual program. You have to write out all the details of the program. You have to write out all the details of the exercises you're going to have them do, all the videos you want to make that where you're going to be teaching your clients how to transform. All those things, we want to take some time and actually do all of those things, right? Then you have to develop your educational strategy and put out how you are going to get people to understand exactly what it is you do, because you know what you want to do and Spirit knows what you want to do. So you have to get really, really clear and put it out there so that people can understand what it is you do. Very often you'll hear this called messaging. So you want to get your messaging really, really clear, right? So once you've done all that, you're really, you know a lot about coaching, you know a lot about who you are, you know a lot about who you want to help and how you're going to help them. This is really good, okay? This is a good place to be. Now all you have to do is create the structures that are going to deliver it. So when I say structures, I mean like your website. So your website, now that you have this great program you've created, you need to build the website where you're going to put the program, and you're going to build the sales pages where you write down all the information about the program so that people understand what you're doing, right? So we have to build all those things, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Believe it or not, even though I said build a website, people are like, I can't do technology. I know how to teach technology. We figured that out. We're going to help you. Okay. I've got my little team. All right. I'm going to help you. My virtual assistants are going to help you. But more importantly, Spirit is going to help you, right? I've taught people who were total technophobes, right? Totally afraid of technology, totally had them building their websites, and they did a beautiful job. So much so that they're kind of like, yeah, I did that. And I'm like, yes, you did. Proud of you. But yes, that's what we're going to be doing as a part of the program as well. Then, of course, phase 6. Now, already you've created a lot of stuff, and we're already at week 30. All right. So you see how quickly, and there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing in these 10 months, which is 40 weeks. We're already at week 30. And now it's time for you to actually be putting yourself out there. So even though you don't graduate until week 40, you actually are starting to play the role of the life coach at week 30, because you're going to start building your tribe. So you're going to start putting yourself out there on your blog. You're going to start building your social media. And don't worry if you don't know how to do that. I can totally see you right now. I don't know how to do social media. I can't do it. I have anxiety around it. Don't worry. I'm going to teach you that. I have a system for all this stuff. That's what all these years have been about, building the systems to help you be able to deal and to do all this stuff. So don't worry. All right. I'm going to teach you. So you're going to be building your tribe. You're going to be setting up your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube accounts. You're going to also be setting up your email list because, you know, you have to have an email list. So I'm going to teach you and we're going to build that together. Everything in this program we are going to do together. You are not going to be alone. All right. And after we've built all that stuff, opened up all those accounts, set them up in a way that makes you feel great and makes your the people that are coming to you feel like you're trustworthy and lets them know that you actually know what you're talking about, okay? I'm going to teach you how to do all those things, right? We're moving into the last phase right now. Weeks 31 through 37, okay, this is a 40-week program. This is when you are going to actually be launching yourself and you're going to be inviting people in to your program. And then weeks 37 through 40, that's when you're going to be graduating. So I'm going to just pause right here. I want to check in with Charlene. Charlene, if you have any questions, you can either type them into the chat, or you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. I'm more than happy to, I'm happy that you're here. Thank you. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to come on because this was a little bit of a spur of the moment thing, just a little bit. But anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to chime in, okay? All right, now, so that is the program in a nutshell. We are going to be starting officially on April 3rd. And so we will go from April 3rd through, I think it's in the middle of February of next year, so that next year in February, you will be a certified spiritual life coach. You will have a website, you will have a social media following, you will be teaching people through your program. You will be educating people and helping them transform in the program that we have set up together. Now, one of the things that people ask, and this is a really important question, they always want to know, how much does it cost to work with me in this program? And my program is a top-notch program. Everything that you need is included in it. It's fully set up, and it's really transformational. It is $22,000 US. Now, as a beta tester, which is the program that I'm running right now, you are invited to come into the program for $3,000. Why am I doing it this way? Well, the people who are currently in the program, I can't put them into beta testing because they're busy working, all right? And I did not know that I was going to be beta testing, so I can't ask them in the middle of the program to beta test. That ain't cool. They're already working on stuff. So what I thought I would do is bring in a few people who are coming in specifically to partner with me in the program as beta testers. And what that basically means is that you would be going through the program fully, doing all the work, all right? You would have the benefit of the greatly reduced investment, and I would have the benefit of you talking to me about the modules and the lessons as you do them and giving me your honest feedback. That would allow me to make adjustments for the program as it stands while it's live and while it's active in your mind. Now, this is not a lot of responsibility on your part. It's really just doing something that you would be doing anyway, but maybe taking an additional 5 or 10 minutes each week to just sit down and say, hey, Crystal, what you wrote here, I don't know what in the hell you wrote. That don't make no sense. You need to figure that out, right? So then I might figure that out and I'd be like, does this feel better? Yeah, now it's clear. That's what I'm looking for. you would then move on to the next thing, right? So it's not like there's a huge responsibility, but it is really, really important for me as the creator of this program that I get it right. The program has been working very well for the last 5 years. That's what I've been doing. However, I'm ready to move it into a different phase. And that is what the beta testers are going to be helping me do. So that's really what this particular program is all about. I am going to go to some of the questions that I've gotten and make sure that I address those, because that's what we're here for. So let me hop on within my questions list. And let's see, the first one says, hi, Crystal. Hi, Crystal. I've been following you on YouTube for a long time, and I'm interested in your program to become a spiritual coach. I want to know how much life coaches make a year. I have a good job right now, but I really want to become a coach and work for myself, but I don't think I can make enough money to support me and my family, not at least for a while. How long until a person can leave their job? That to me is a really good question. So I want to be really, really honest with you, because I want to set you up for a win. And I also want to set myself up for a win. Realistically, and if you want to know more about this, I have a video where I take you through like how to make money as a coach. It's on YouTube. I will look that up and put a link in this video in the comments. Realistically, and I'm going to make this a short answer. I personally believe that it is unrealistic to think that in your first year of coaching, you can make more than $100,000. So if you are thinking about your job and you're currently making $100,000 and you think, oh, by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to come out and make $100,000 my first year, that's probably not realistic. Now, what is realistic is that you will, and it depends, okay? Let me preface, before I put my numbers out there, let me say that it depends on how you run your business and what your strategies are. Now, I'm going to preface this even more and say that my work and my belief is that the key to success is mindset. And when you start with mindset, which is what we do in the program, so those first 9 weeks when I was talking about the timeline, and I was saying, okay, you're going to be working on yourself, the very first module in the program is about your mindset, because you cannot have success if your mind won't let you. So in my spiritual philosophy, and I'm assuming that we have a similar spiritual philosophy, you are God having a human experience. The power to create is within you. The human experience is the problem. That is the mind, which is fearful, doubtful, confused. It's connected to the 3D and it's attached to the 3D, and it thinks that it's limited by the 3D, okay? As a spiritual coach myself, personally, I don't believe that that's true. I believe that you're having an experience of being limited, but that in reality, we need to peel you away from the experience of being limited. That's my work as a coach. In this program, my work as your coach is to help you peel back the limitation that you think you have so that you can actually go forward and start creating your coaching business on solid ground, on truths about you as a being. That's what I care about. So the beginning part of this is about mindset. Now, with that being said, getting back into the question, the Once you have a relationship with your mindset, all the challenges and obstacles that come along with building yourself as a coach and building your business are dealt with from a different place. So if you come into a program and your mindset is, I start strong, but I usually finish weak. I will start something wholeheartedly, but then I get distracted because I self-sabotage and life starts happening and all these things come up and I can't continue, all right? I start things, but then I go into survival mode, and then next thing you know, I can't pay my bills, and then these bad things are happening and all this stuff happens, and then blah, 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 all right? I'm a spiritual life coach, all right? And I'm a badass butterfly, and I'm gonna just tell you the way I see it, all right? All that stuff is happening because of what's happening in your mind. Nobody's doing it to you. The 3D is not your enemy. The 3D ain't doing anything to you. You are a divine being of God, and it is your own mentality that is coming forth subconsciously, all right? Most of the things that you're experiencing in the 3D world are happening from a subconscious part of you that you don't know is functioning. That's why we begin with mindset, because first I need to help you understand that all that stuff that's happening in your mindset is reflecting out to you. Once you learn that, and once you start accepting that, once you start embracing that, all of a sudden, those weird things where you're self-sabotaging, they stop happening. All of a sudden, where you couldn't reach your goals, where you couldn't complete things, where obstacles and challenges kept popping up, they stop. Because you are the master of your own universe. You are the center, and what you say goes. The problem is that you are saying different things. On a conscious level, you're saying, I want this, I deserve this, I'm happy to do this, I want to do this. On a subconscious level, you're saying, I'm afraid, I'm not worthy, I'm not ready for this, I can't handle this. Those two things are working to create the havoc that you are experiencing in your life. The moment you dive deep into your subconscious mind and you create balance and harmony and peace in your subconscious mind, you start having a very different experience in the outside world. So in my program, in this certification program, the very first thing we have to do is get your mindset aligned with the highest aspect of yourself, your greatest potential. Okay, there's that. Now, I started talking about that for a reason, because I was answering the first question, which was, how much money does a life coach make, right? So once you are clear inside and you're working from a place of sufficiency, that's all we want. We don't need grand abundance. We don't need a millionaire mindset. All we need is to be working from a place of sufficiency, self-sufficiency. I am sufficient. From there, you can set a reasonable goal that feels reasonable to you for your income. So if you think about your time, the different, how much time you can put into your business, your family obligations, the things you're creating for yourself, your responsibilities, okay? And well, okay, Crystal, I think it's reasonable for me to only work with 3 clients as I'm starting my business. So I'm really going to just bring in 3 private clients, and I'm going to bring in 6 students into my program, right? Well, from there, you can realize that, all right, you do the numbers. Maybe this year you're going to bring in $60,000, not $100,000, but $60,000. That's reasonable. And if you look and you feel like, well, I think that that's even maybe a little bit too much for me to take on, I want to go slowly, then maybe you're going to only bring in 30,000, right? So the answer to your question is maybe twofold. And I'm sorry, I didn't write down. Oh, that's from Iris. Actually, that's Iris. So Iris, I want you to remember that it's twofold. Your mindset is going to determine how much money you can make. Your mindset is how much money you give yourself permission to make, right? How much permission do I have to make? How much money? Oh gosh. Hello. How much money do I have permission to make? That might be the starting question, okay? Next part is we need to create the system to hit that financial goal, all right? And again, I'm not going to go into that in this particular call, but I will send you the video so that you can sit down and do the exercise, because I have a little formula that I like to use. It's really simple, but I do need to teach you how to use it, okay? So you can watch that video to learn exactly how to figure out how much money you can make, all right? So I'm going to just see if there are any questions. And Charlene, are you okay? If you have any questions, just let me know, okay? Now let's see. Next question is, for how many hours is it? Okay, so the certification program is 40 weeks, so that's about 10 months, as I described earlier. And I think that the question she's asking is, how many hours do you have to do every week? So let me take this as an opportunity to just tell you about the program outline, like the structure. So we're going to be meeting every week in a small group. All right, so that's 40 sessions, let's say. That'll help you understand it a little bit better, I think. So we're going to be meeting every week in a small group. Usually in the groups, there are no more than 7 people. I like to do 4 to 7 people. All right. That way you get to know the people and you have a relationship, and it's not too big. Nobody's going to get lost, and it's not overwhelming. All right. So a small group of up to 7 people, we meet every week. The sessions last about 2 hours. I always say, hey, let's do this in an hour and 15 minutes. But the fact is they go up to 2 hours. And the reason is I like to hear everyone's voice, and I like to know where everyone is. You all are building a business. I need to know where you are. So it's really, really good during that time for me to get your feedback and to understand where you are so that we can make sure you're getting what you need. Also, we do a lot of healing on every single call. Every single call for every single week, we are going to be addressing healing issues. So even though we're working on those things, particularly in the first 9 weeks, after that, we are still going to be dealing with shadows, because I guarantee you, someone's going to be like, oh, I'm afraid to write. I'm having writer's block. Okay, then we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with that. I'm not going to be like, oh, go figure it out. We're going to work on it as a group, and you're going to learn how to coach people through issues as they come up. It could be, for example, that in the middle of our work, that you are finding yourself dealing with some kind of emotional challenge. It could be something from the work that we're doing, as you're uncovering yourself and you're dealing with, you're putting together your program, but it could also be something that's happening in your personal life, right? Something could be going on with you and your spouse or with one of your children. When you bring those things to our sessions, it gives the other people in the sessions a chance to learn about how to coach. And it gives you an opportunity to learn about how to coach. And it gives you an opportunity, of course, to be coached, to receive healing, all of these things, okay? Wait, how many hours is it? Right. So we work together every single week as a group. And we have additional weekly sessions where you are able to sign on and work with me personally during the week. All right, so you have your group sessions, you have these small private sessions where you can meet with me if you need them. Most people don't need them because we get so much done in the groups, but they're there if you need them. And we have a curriculum. So all of the curriculum is online. There are videos, worksheets, workbooks, audio files, written stuff that you need to read. Everything is there contained in the program. So this is a great opportunity for you to also learn about, you're going to be going through my program, but you're also going to learn how programs work. And I'm going to be teaching you how to build a program online, just like I've done. That is a part of the curriculum. You're going to learn it. And believe me, at first you're going to be like, technology. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, I just mastered technology. I thought it was hard, but I did it. That's right. You're a woman who can do hard things. Woohoo! Yay, us. All right, so that's the program outline. So you know you have at least 2 hours that you're going to be spending just in session with me. I think that it's reasonable to invest at least 8 hours a week in your program. In the beginning, you're not going to need 8 hours. In the beginning, for the first 3 months, you're only going to need probably 3 or 4 hours every week. Now, if you wanted to get ahead, I would always encourage you to get ahead if you could. If you could up that to 5 or 6 hours and you're doing things like research and writing and practicing and making videos, just practicing those things, that would be a really good use of your time. Now, when the program is really rolling, like starting from starting from month 4, which would be week 16. Okay, so starting from week 16 going out, you're going to have an intensification of the amount of time that you need to spend. So it's going to go from 3 hours a week up to maybe 6 hours a week, up to 8 hours a week. You're probably not going to need more than 8 hours a week. But depending on how you work, if you're like me, I'm a long writer, which means that that's hours of writing. But you know me, my blog posts, I know you've seen my blog posts. My blog posts are like 10 pages. You don't need to write no 10-page blog. You don't need to write a 10-page blog. You need a 1-page blog. Why my blogs are 10 pages? Because I got a lot going on, okay? So don't worry, all right? But anyway, just expect to spend anywhere in the beginning about 3 hours for the first, say, I would say for the first 16 weeks, 3 to 4 hours a week. And then from there, week 16, you'd step that up to 6 to 8 hours per week. All right, I think that answers that question. All right, and let me again, just checking in, Charlene, if you have any questions, just let me know. And the next question here is, I always knew I was a healer. I want to help people who have suffered the narcissistic abuse. I don't know how to do that as a healer. Is life coach a better choice? That's a really good question. So healing is really, really important. And in this certification program, by the way, you will become certified as a Reiki master. All right, so I will be giving you all 3 levels of Reiki. So you'll have a healing modality that goes along with your coaching certification. So you'll be a coach and Reiki master. Look, for me, healing is about energy. And it's about correcting alignment. It's vibrational. Coaching, and it's energetic. It's an energetic approach. Coaching is more mental. And so there is a mental approach to putting things together and making things, helping people gain clarity by talking, by reading, by thinking. Now, when when I'm working with someone coaching, there's always energy work that's happening, and energy is being shifted by the mind. Of course, the mind is a huge generator of energy. But with coaching, we're taking a more tangible, a more mental, intellectual approach, as opposed to a more subtle vibrational approach, which you get with healers. Okay. And so in your practice as a coach, I would say that coaching is probably a better option for healing something like narcissistic abuse. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's more practical and it's more measurable. And the steps that you need are practical. So for example, if I'm counseling someone who's the daughter of a narcissist, if I am healing, right, doing Reiki, I'm not talking. The Reiki's doing all the work. And when the daughter is done with getting the Reiki, she says, oh, I feel really good. I see my mom as very different. You know, I feel much more loving toward my mom. Okay. And then she's going to go and deal with her mom, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And that's just, the energy has been shifted. Okay. And that's a very good outcome. She feels better. That's a good outcome. Now, what I've noticed from my experience in working with many different people is that a person will take that good feeling and go start living their lives, and then they'll feel good for a few days. They might even see their mom and they'll be like, oh, this is much better. But then a week later, some things are still coming up and not quite working so well. You know, maybe there's a relapse or something like that, or the person is just still back in trauma with their narcissistic mom. So for me, a coaching relationship is one that is a little more long-term. So for example, when a person comes to coach with me, I don't do one coaching session. I do 13 coaching sessions, because you need to work with a person over an arc of time. It's not just like, hi, we're going to have this session, boom, you're done. No, you got to learn, you got to peel back the layers. We got to see what's under there. And that takes time. Even, you know, just a 1 hour session with you, you can feel better. Yeah, good. You're going to feel better after every coaching session without a doubt. But you still need to build on each following session, right? And that is what a coach is really meant to do. So when I'm helping you build your coaching program and put together your menu of services, we keep all those things in mind, and I help you build out, like, well, what am I going to do with a person for 13 sessions? Oh, we're going to figure all that stuff out. That's what I help you do. All right. And it's not even hard. It's not hard at all. You just, once you know your subject, right? Once you know the pain and the transformation that you're offering, you know, we just have to put it together, and then it becomes really exciting. Just, it's so much fun because it's coming from you. It's like your own baby. Like, you know, you might love kids, but your own kids, you love your own kids. You're like, that's my baby. She's so cute. She spit. Oh, I like her drool. She's so sweet. Her's a baby. That's really sweet. You totally get that, right? That's your baby. That's how it feels with your program. Like with your program, there's a lot of heart that you put into it, and you know it intimately because you created it inside out. Boom. You created the subject behind it, and you created the face, the way it looks, the logo, the brand, the coloring, the type style, the website, the feel, all that. That's on the outside, but you also powered it from the inside. It's powerful. This is so fun. I love this work. That's why I'm excited to enroll you. So let me keep moving here. Let's see, Charlene. Let's see, Brittany says, dealing with the narcissist has actually been an area on my niche list. Yeah. And yes, Brittany, I do attunements as well. All right, excellent. Very good. Another question I got here, I've got two more. Oh, the last one is hilarious. I'm glad the last one is the last one. It cracks me up. Anyway, this is the second to the last question. It says, "Hi, Crystal. I'm a therapist, and I'm thinking about becoming a spiritual life coach. What are your thoughts on that?" What are my thoughts on a therapist becoming a spiritual life coach? Well, okay, so I went to university here in Paris and I studied philosophy. And when I was done with my philosophy degree, I really, really loved it. And I went to my advisor and I thought, I really think I need to become a psychologist. I need to go into doing my master's in psychology. And he said, and my advisor, and he really understood me. He understood me as a woman. He understood me as a person. He understood me as a soul. He was a very special teacher. And he's a philosophy, I don't know, he's a PhD, whatever. He's just brilliant, brilliant, brilliant man. And he said to me, look, you don't want to go into therapy because there are rules. You have to be certified by the state. You have to be licensed by the state, and they limit you. You cannot think the way you want to think, and you cannot do the things you want to do and call yourself a licensed therapist. If you want to learn psychology because you want to learn it, okay. But he said, you're a different type of thinker. And he left it at that. He was like, you're a different type of thinker. I think you'll be limited by psychology. And being the woman that I am and growing, that was 20 years ago. That was 20 years ago. Damn, that was 20 years ago. The woman that I am right now, I have no regrets about not going into psychology. And right now, I am a successful spiritual life coach. I have my schedule is almost fully booked. And the reason I say it's almost fully booked is because I deliberately have been making space for this beta testing program. All right. And there were times in my coaching career when I literally had and was seeing 25 clients a week. That is a lot of clients. That's a lot of clients. 25 one-hour sessions is a lot. It's a lot energetically. It's a lot spiritually. And those were all private one-on-one sessions. The reason I'm saying it like this is because I had freedom as a life coach to do it the way I wanted to do it. There was nobody who was going to threaten to take away my license as a coach if someone was offended by something I said or did. All of my authority as a spiritual life coach comes from within myself. You are hearing my spiritual philosophy. If it resonates with you, then you'll come to me as a coach for coaching. If it does not resonate with you, you will move on to someone else. It's that simple. And so to answer the question, I think that it's great to move on from therapy into spiritual life coaching if that's what you feel called to do. Because as a spiritual life coach, you are free. And starting your coaching now, by the way, is important because there are agencies that are trying to create some kind of a body where they are ruling the coaches and telling, oh, you can be certified, you can't be, you can do this, you can't do that. And to me, I say no to all that, not for coaching. Nobody will tell me what to do, what I can say, what I cannot say, not having it. Okay. So I'm very opposed to me personally. Okay. I'm not saying that coaching, like the Coaching Federation, for example, I'm not saying that what they do isn't valuable. I like that they have standards and ethics, right? I include their standards and ethics in my own formulation of this program. One of the reasons why my coaching program is so effective is because I took a lot from what I learned from them and I applied it into my own program, because I like boundaries. I like knowing what I like knowing. I don't want to hurt people, right? So I learned what you should do and not do and should not do. But what I don't want is for somebody to tell me things like, no, you shouldn't talk about God with your clients. You shouldn't share your own perspective with your clients. You should never tell your clients that you love them or that you care about them, because that's going to be crossing a boundary, right? I'm just not into it. Don't want to be told. I'm going to do whatever spirit calls me to do. And then of course, I'm going to take responsibility for that. And my client and I are going to have a discussion. Although, I'm very blessed in that, I also am very authentic. So people who come to me appreciate my authenticity. We're kind of coming on a nice level footing. So there's not a lot of upset that I get with my clients. I really only had maybe one or two, and I'm not sure, because sometimes, because we come on equal terms, sometimes I'm like, were we actually upset because we mutually agreed that this isn't working? And then that ended. So yeah, one or two times I've had to, end a relationship. So in answer to your question, I think it's wonderful that you would go from a therapist to being a spiritual life coach, especially because you have the education of psychology behind you. And you now can start to break free of whatever constraints that put on you. All right. Very good. I hope that's helpful. All right. And I'm just checking in to see if there are any other questions. And otherwise, I have just one more question, which is, the question is, I love this question. Crystal, why is your program so damn expensive? Why is it $22,000? Okay, first of all, it's $22,000 because it's worth $22,000, right? I'm offering it right now for $3,000 because I need your help. And so we're going to do this, all right? So take advantage of that offer, because the price is going back up, all right? All of you all who are like, oh, I'll take you up on this offer later. I'm like, no, you won't. No, you will not. You will not get this chance again. I've been running this program for 5 years and I've never, ever done this. The only reason I'm doing now is because it's time for something different. And I need as much feedback as I can get as soon as possible so that I can do the thing that I want to do in my soul, which is to take my program to the next level. All right. So this is going to happen right now. Don't wait. Okay. Because this is the opportunity. But here's why the program is priced the way that it's priced. And this is coming from my own experience from getting coaching. Now, before I started this certification, I was a struggling spiritual life coach. I got certified back in 10 years ago. All right. I got certified 10 years ago and I graduated. I invested 10 years ago $10,000. And when I graduated, I did not have a website. I did not have a blog. I did not have any I had nothing in writing. I had no social media following, and I had no idea of how to create any of that. The only thing I knew was that I was spiritual. And had I healed any of my own issues? Sure, I was doing a lot of healing because I was working with spirit, but I was still stuck in unworthiness. I had no idea about mindset, none. Graduated, not an ounce of instruction about how to deal with your mindset, no instruction on how to generate a client. I paid $10,000 for that. Okay. I appreciate what I got, but in hindsight, that's a little hard. Okay. It's a little hard. Because for years I struggled. I had no idea of how to do it. Okay. And because I was spiritual, I didn't have that grounding. I was very strong in the divine feminine. I didn't have the grounding to tell me, like, you need some divine masculine, girl. You need to set this up. You need structure, you need organization. So I started my own blog. I'm like, okay, everybody, I was looking around at what everybody else was doing. Oh, they have a blog. I'm going to start a blog. I didn't know how to blog. I knew how to write. I did not know how to blog. And I certainly did not know how to blog to bring people in for me as a coach. There's an art form and you have to put it all together. So I went to another coach to learn how to do this. And then I thought, there's the answer. It's now going to be successful. Nope, that wasn't it. Then I went to another coach to learn how to do that. And then another coach to learn how to do that. And there, and there, and there, and there, and there. After it all, over these last years, I've spent $50,000 on coaching. And I finally said, y'all should have taught me all of this from the beginning. Instead of nickel and diming me with $6,000 here and $6,000 there, y'all should have just said what I need to do and then given me a system to do it, and then help me build the system right from the start. And that's when God said, why don't you do that? And I said, I'm a number 8. I'm an 8 numerologically. I'm going to do that. And that's what I've done. So that's why the program is priced at $22,000, because it's giving you everything you need. It's giving it to you in 10 months, and it's giving it to you effectively, systematically, so that by the time you're done, not only are you going to have all the pieces in place, you're going to know why you've done what you've done and why things are going, why you're doing what you're doing, so that you can continue after you've launched your program, you can continue to build your business. All right, I'm done. Are there any questions? Is there anything that I can answer for you before I sign off? I'm just going to be saying, while you all are getting your questions together, the program starts April 3rd. I'd like to have you signed up by this weekend, if it's possible. If you're interested, you need to do it by this weekend. Why? Because I need to sign you up. We have a bunch of stuff we have to do. I have to get you enrolled in the program, get you set up on the website. I have to do all those things. And then we want to be ready to rock and roll by April 3rd, which is the first Sunday in April. It's perfect timing. It feels really good. So are there any questions? And Charlene, I know you're here with me, or if you're able to talk, we can either talk together, or if you want to type in a question in chat, you can. All right. So it looks like I don't have any questions. So I think then that we are good to go ahead and sign off. I want to thank you so much for joining me, for watching. Seriously, if you're ready to join, send me a note and we'll get you started. There is the discovery call that we need to do, which is just about 30 minutes of you and I talking about what your coaching vision is, and me taking you through the enrollment process. No problem. Yeah, that's it. So when you're ready, book in a discovery call. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Charlene, thanks so much for joining me, and everyone on Facebook, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye for now, y'all. Bye.